Hello there, good afternoon to everyone, those who are joining from home, office, anywhere in the world. Welcome to www.thepapare.com's live and exclusive coverage of Sri Lanka Dialog Rugby League 2019-2020. Well, this is week number 4 and today is CR taking on Army Sports Club. Here we are live and exclusively bringing you this coverage from CRNFC. And the weather looks fantastic. Well, not only for rugby, for any sport I would say. It's beautiful weather. Good conditions. There you go. CRNFC unbeaten and they are taking on Army Sports Club. That's the game which we're going to bring you live, and there are plenty of other games taking place, but let's focus on CRNFC. And captained by Omalka, CRNFC is doing so well. So far so good for them, that's all I can say. But on the other hand, Army, coached by former Kandy and Sri Lanka player Radhika Hettiarachchi, are yet to get off the blocks. Well, having said that, look at the weather conditions. Maximum temperature expected is 29 Celsius. That's fantastic. And minimum is 26. That's even better. And the wind speed is not that great, but still it's okay for kicking 20 kilometers an hour. And also it's partly cloudy, but still a better condition for rugby. So we're going in for a short commercial break. Once we are back, we'll be bringing you the live coverage between CRNFC and Army Sports Club. Stay tuned.
වෙඩින් එකට තාම හොටෙල් එකවත් බුක් කරලා නැහැනේ.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම් සුදු.
අලු සීට් එකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්. දෙකින් දෙන්නම්. දෙකින් දෙන්නම්. දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකින් දෙන්න නම් දෙකින් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
Ceylon personal loan කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with a heart.
රුපියල් 5කින් මොනවද කරන්න පුළුවන්? 5කින්
අලු සීට් එකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
සර්, සර්ගේ පේමන්ට් එක සෙටල් කරන්න තියෙනවා.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්. දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකින් දෙන්න නම් දෙකින් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
Ceylon personal loan කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with a heart.
உங்கள் கிராமத்தில், உங்கள் நகரில், உங்கள் பிரதேசத்தில் உள்ள வீரர்கள் திறமையானவர்களா? அவளின் திறமைகளை நீங்கள் அறிந்து கொள்ள வேண்டுமா? தமிழ் பேசும் உங்களின் திறமைகளை உலகறியச் செய்யும் உங்களுக்கான யூடியூப் சேனல் www.youtube.com/thepapare Tamil.
වෙඩින් එකට තාම හොටෙල් එකවත් බුක් කරලා නැහනේ.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම් සිදු.
අලු සීට් එකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්. දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, a Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
සිලාන් පර්සනල් ලෝන් කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with a heart.
ක්‍රීඩාව සම්බන්ධ කතන්දර දැනගෙන හිටියට විතරක් මදි. ඒවා ලෝකෙටම ඇහෙන්න කියන්න පුළුවන් ක්‍රමයක් ගැනයි මේ කියන්නේ. නිකම්ම නෙමෙයි, මුදල් උපයන්නත් පුළුවන්. ක්‍රීඩාව ගැන රසකතා දන්නවා නම් ඒවා නිර්මාණශීලීව රූප මාධ්‍යයෙන් ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් කතා කරන්න අපට 0777 822 777 නැත්නම් ඊමේල් කරන්න careers@thepapare.com. thepapare.com ක්‍රීඩාවට හදවතින්ම.
අලු සීට් එකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
සර්, සර්ගේ පේමන්ට් එක සෙටල් කරන්න තියෙනවා.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්. දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, a Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
සිලාන් පර්සනල් ලෝන් කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with a heart.
වෙඩින් එකට තාම හොටෙල් එකවත් බුක් කරලා නැහනේ.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම් සිදු.
අලු සීට් එකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්. දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, a Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
සිලාන් පර්සනල් ලෝන් කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with a heart.
Hello there, welcome again, and you're watching the CRNFC versus Army Sports Club, the third week Dialog Rugby Challenge, and you can see both the teams are warming up, beautiful weather conditions, and there you go. That's this week's results, and joining me here in the commentary box, that's Inshaf. So last week, in fact, CHNFC.
I think this week Clifford started off a little bit early, not usually how we are used to seeing a Friday, Saturday, Sunday game. It's a Thursday game, so CH winning their first.
රුපියල් 5කින් මොනවද කරන්න පුළුවන්? 5කින්
අලු සීටිකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
සර් සර්ගේ පේමන්ට් එක සෙටල් කරන්න තියෙනවා.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න. දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන්.
Welcome back. Sorry for the interruptions. We are back on track. CRNFC taking on Army Sports Club here at the Longdon Place. And CH playing against Navy, winning their first game. That was the score yesterday, 23-21. And right now, the team card for CRNFC. Gayan Jayasekara, Supun Varnakula Surya, Himanta Hirushan, Fadil Adahan, Pandukangamana, Mithila Perera, Wajid Fawmi, Omalka Gunratna, skipper playing at number 8, and Rahul De Silva, former Wesleyite, playing as scrum half, and Chanaka Chandimal, Sandun Herat, Dino Kamarsinga, former Antonian, and Janindra Dilshan, a fantastic player, promising talent, along with Gamanu Chetia and the legendary kicker, Riza Mubarak. Well, that's the starting 15 for CRNFC. Well, a fantastic team card. You can see that, and I'm sure they'll be able to deliver some results here. They're unbeaten at the moment. And joining me here in the commentary box, Shanaka Amarasinghe. Shanaka, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Clifford. Great to be here. It's a Longdon Place game, but it is actually hosted by Army. So it's going as a home game for Army, who are on the Skoke team right now. Sampath Kumara, Lakmal Dadallage, Shehan Silva, Tarindu Bandara, Nalaka Madhuranga. Look for him in the line-out. Chamira Silva, Sanjay Ratnayaka and Dhanuka Vijayatilaka. So quite the new front set for the Army Sports Club. Manoj Bandara and Ashan Bandara, they will be a good combination today, and it'll be interesting to see how he takes it to the line. Ashan Bandara likes to run. Sudaraka Dikkumra, Tusita Serenayaka, Tomasi Kauso, and that's the man that everybody is going to be looking to get the ball to. Madhushanka Chandrasekhara, Isuru Madagedara, as well. A bit of experience on the bench as well for the Army.
Well, there you go. That's the Army scorecard. So week 4 in progress at the moment. And we have had 2 fantastic weeks. CR winning all 3 games, and Army are yet to get off the blocks. And Shanaka, looking at the team card, CR and FC, well, they have done so well. So only challenge they'll be facing is from the Army 3 quarters. But what's your say on that?
Well, it all will rest with how well the foreign player plays in this Army backline. Tomasi, that's going to be the real test for CRNFC. Well, Daniju Dilshan and Dhiru Kamarasinghe, will they be able to really do the job defensively? That's what's going to be interesting. Because we saw Dinu Kamarasinghe up against the Havelocks midfield. He did really well. And I thought he really, against CH also, he managed to stifle Gayan Veeraratne. So can he do that defensive job today? That's where the game will probably be won and lost. Of course, we have another big game coming up across town. We have at Police Park. Police are hosting a Candy Sports Club. Of course, Police with their foreign player have also been a giant killers this season so far. And can they take on this Candy team? The favourites, of course, coming in to Colombo. Always a little bit vulnerable travelling to Colombo for the first time in a season, Clifford. So this game is going to be a really interesting one.
Well, that's going to be an interesting one. Police, yes, they have done so well this year. Good start for the season for them. Their 3 quarters have been very impressive. But here, if you look at the team card here, Dinu Kamarasinghe, Janindra Dilshan, Gamanu Chetia, along with Riza Mubarak, well, that's a scary one as well, including Sandun Herat. And that's going to be a real threat for Army Sports Club. And if you're thinking Army Sports Club, it's going to defend so hard, but they probably have to keep be on their toes and just be on the faces of the 3 quarters of CRNFC, because they are so fast, experienced and highly talented. Well, there you go. Those are the match officials. The referee for the evening will be Ishan Kabekon, assisted by Callum Sundarwan and Anil Mangala. And
going to be an interesting game for the officials as well, Clifford, because there's not a huge crowd. Of course, it is a Christmas weekend, or at least a weekend just prior to Christmas, so lots of people may be out doing their Christmas shopping, and a lot of people may be opting to watch this at home on ThePapare.com as well, and maybe try and watch it on 2 screens, watching the Police game on 1 screen and this on another one. That's kind of the practice that a lot of people have adopted now, thanks to ThePapare.com bringing the rugby right to their living rooms. But this Army team like to play CRNFC, Clifford, They've come up against them before and they've done better than expected. They drew against Sia last year as well. So this is a new look team for Army and they won't be frightened by this Sia side. And let's not forget that Sia's Achilles heel is their forwards. They've got some good individual players, but they're still not playing with the same kind of cohesion that they would like to see that front eight give them. So as a result of that, I think Army will be going into their line-out, going into their scrum with a little bit more confidence than you would expect. So how together this Army team is, how Tomasi can bring them together as an individual player, and how Sia can shepherd him into touch more often than not is going to be the test today.
Well, very true. And what they have to do is, instead of over-depending on Tomasi, they have to build the three quarters around him. And a lot of support play also comes into play there. But here, CRNFC, playing in red jersey, the traditional red jersey, well, can they make it count? So it's an Army versus CRNFC game, and this is going to be very interesting.
It is also going to be interesting because there's been a build-up in CRNFC over the course of the last week. They had two fly halves who were sick and out injured as well. Chanaka Chandimal hadn't been training for all week, so he's the experienced man. He's been given the nod over Murshid Zubair, who was training all week and set to start until maybe yesterday. But Chanaka Chandimal has been given that job, and that's going to be an interesting one to see how he steps out without a great week of preparation behind him. So Ashan Bandara versus Chandimal, that's going to be an interesting mini battle in this game as well, because Ashan Bandara has grown into one of the better fly halves in the club season so far. In Sri Lanka, I should say, Clifford. So you've got guys who are way out ahead, but Ashan Bandara is there or thereabouts. He's someone who's always going to be picked for a Sri Lanka squad. He likes to run the ball, and that's something that's going to be really interesting today, whether he can really put Tomasi into space. That combination, the skip pass between Ashan Bandara and Tomasi is going to be the interesting one. So they get underway, and it's Ashan Bandari himself who kicks the ball on the bounce to Omarka Gunaratne, who thunders straight through the gap. Gunaratne still going. He's made 60 meters. A brilliant run from the CRNFC captain. Couldn't have asked for a better start. And now here's Dinu Kamarasinghe looking for the long ball out, and that's thrown away. A really uncharacteristic error from Amarasinghe, who just didn't get time to settle down. And I think everyone was so surprised by how much yardage that Omarka Gunaratne managed to make that they just didn't manage to settle themselves back down to do as much as they could with that ball.
What a brilliant start for CRNFC. Omarka Gunaratne. Look at that power. It's about, I'm sure he would have been doing about 20 or 30, I would say. Much more than that. Big lad, strong lad.
Thought there might have been a little bit of infringement on that occasion. Not behind the last foot. The Army defenders coming up. But I think Sia still needed to do a lot better with that ball. They're looking for their number 8, Dhanuka Wijetilaka here. And he goes off on the charge. Mithila Pereira, who's moved from the second row to the third row, making a good tackle on Wijetilaka there. And Army are going to be patient, going to go through the phases and look for Bandara maybe to not get them out of trouble, but maybe to give them better field position. So CRNFC very clearly not contesting those rucks once the ball is lost. Rahul De Silva, and that time it was Gamanu Chetia who didn't quite hear the instructions of his scrum half, and that's a costly mistake. Gamanu Chetia, of course, it's always nervous times with the ball swirling in the wind. It's cloudy, and Gamanu Chetia will need to recover from that pretty quickly.
Yeah, early stages of the game, a little bit on nerves, needs to be settled, and probably he thought he was under pressure. There was a charging player, in fact, like it was his own player. But right now, Army back into the CR territory, but this time they have the ball in their hands.
A little bit of miscommunication there. Rahul De Silva very much in Gamanu Chetia's eye line. And it was unfortunate that they didn't manage to communicate well enough. Riza Mubarak probably would go for those usually, but Chetia was right in the path of the ball. But a very good attacking scrum. 2 men on the blind side for Army, which means that they've shifted 2 defenders out to the left of Sia's defensive scrum. So Rahul De Silva has opted to not stay with his man, the scrum half. He's opted to come around and defend the blind side here, which means that they're trying to free up a little bit of space for Tomasi on the open side, Clifford. Watch for the ball to go to him first time. And they've got just a short line, just the 4 defenders. Mubarak has chosen to go outside as well. So they've got just the 4 defenders on that side. And it's going to be very interesting to see what Army are going to do from this first phase ball. Excellent position.
Well, a lot of work to be done by Janindra Dilshan. He'll be marking Tomasi. And I'm sure he'll be having the support from Dinu Kamarasinghe as well. And like you rightly said, they have 2 attacking players on the left.
Going to be very interesting to see how Wajid Faumi fares in this instance. He's the man who really needs to make those big tackles. They use Tomasi as a decoy. Sudaraka Dikkumra coming in off the left wing. Makes good ground, but Sia drift to him well enough. Bandara to Tomasi again, used as the decoy. Hands the ball off to Vijay Tilaka. In fact, that was Chamira Silva who carried that forward. Here's Vijay Tilaka. And Army now keeping the ball in hand. Radhika Hettiarachi, the coach, will be happy with this. And now Tomasi putting the little bit of a chip kick in. And is this going to beat the Sia defense? No, it's not. Rahul De Silva manages to touch down just ahead of the charging winger Chandrasekhara for Army. And what intelligent play that was, Clifford. Not using Tomasi as a battering ram, but using him to set up the players around him. Really good play from Army.
Well, this is what we've been talking about. Look at the replay. Saw that gap and open space, just to put the ball in there. And, well, very unfortunate for Army. Rahul De Silva is speed enough to recover. And, well, that's going to be the ploy. So it's not he's going to be the player, but he's going to create the play as well.
It was very interesting as Reza Mubarak kicks off. You may be asking yourself where Reza was, but he had been dragged onto the far side and he was at the bottom of that ruck, which is why he couldn't recover. And here's Tomasi now, puts his head down. Lovely offload to Dikkumbara. Dikkumbara throws it forward and he really should have held on to that ball, Sudaraka Dikkumbara. It was a wonderful break made by Tomasi. And here's a little bit of space now for Sadun Herath, Sri Lanka's premier wing three-quarter at one stage of his career. Rahul De Silva wants to take this one quickly. But maybe thinks a little bit better of it, given that it's very much in the middle of the field. Haven't really seen too much from Sia with ball in hand after that initial burst from Amalka.
Oh, decent touch, decent touch. Well, all experienced Reza Mubarak puts the ball out there. And that'll give some confidence for CR. They need to settle in. They had only, like you said, just only one attacking move. Most of the time they've been defending. On the other hand, Army had the ball pretty much for the last 3 to 4 minutes.
It's good news for Fadil Adhan, who makes his debut on the run-on 15 today. The number 4 jersey, the former Royalist league champion. And reunited with his coach Dushant Luke, who knows exactly what he's capable of. And good to see the young man getting a start. Wajid Faumi is the man they look to at the back, but Army have stolen it. Vijay Tilaka throws a long pass, probably not the best one. Dikkumbara now puts the kick in. But Reza read it all the way and puts the little chip back as well. Ball bouncing everywhere, and Army are forced to take that one into touch. So again, set-piece problems for CRNFC. They went to the back, and again, it's their first real line-out, Clifford. So I'm wondering whether that was the right call to go to the number 6. Allow your hooker just to get into the game a little bit. Throw to number 2. Your best jumper is there as well. Try and win the ball a few times before you look for the expansive plays.
Well, I was actually expecting Adil Adhan to grab the ball. I thought it could be number 3 or 4. But unfortunately, they opted to go for the long one. But luckily, they have the ball. They have it inside the Army territory, pretty much near the 50-meter line. And let's see what they're going to make out of this. He's the man who's been organizing the scrum and the 3/4. He's been talking, so that's good.
And what that signal sends also, Clifford, is Army show that they're willing to compete at the line-out. And that really puts a little bit of doubt in the hookers' minds. It puts a little bit of doubt in the jumpers' minds. So apart from just winning the ball, Army have really done themselves a lot of favors by stealing that line-out ball, especially this early on in the game. It could have a significant impact as we proceed in this game. So no points as yet. It's the 8th minute of the game. And CRNFC have an attacking scrum on the 5-meter line. So they've got the whole open side to do something with. Omarka Gunaratne channeling that ball back to the number 2 channel. And here's Chandimal. That's a long ball out to Janindo Dilshan now. Riza Mubarak rather. Mubarak draws and puts his winger Herat into a little bit of space. So they've taken the play from one flank to the other. Chanaka Chandimal threads the pass through to Pandu Kankammana, who's smashed back in the tackle there by his opposite number, Tharindu Bandara. It's a nice pass in front of the man. Well taken, but CRNFC drifting into touch without too much gain. They had a scrum on the left and now they've conceded a line out on the right.
Seems like the CR three-quarters are playing without a plan because they are going into the flanks and they are overloaded and they're just sending the ball out. It's not giving much space for them to make it. Or either they should go in for contact or if not return the ball. But here they have to organize, they have to talk, they have to communicate. But on the other hand, Army three-quarters are defending really well, Shanaka. They are not giving much space for these guys.
Don't forget, if you miss this game live, you can subscribe to our channel, the youtube.com/ThePapare official, and you can watch these games at any time you like over the course of this week. Another untidy line out, and this time CR are the team that steal it. Here's Dinu Kamarasinghe looking for that trademark offload and just eludes the hands of Janindo Dilshan. But referee Shankar Bekun has said that was a knock-on. We've almost come to expect this of Dinu Kamarasinghe, don't we, Clifford? That trademark Sonny Bill Williams kind of offload. And it's really important that the support runner knows when it's coming and knows which angle to run.
Well, there you go, that's the replay. Army line out stolen by CRNFC. And Dinu Kamarasinghe opting to run, taking 1-2, and that offload, just a small little ditch.
Really good tackle by Tusita Senanayaka, which was what put Dinu Kamarasinghe off there. So Army's defense has held so far in the face of this very intimidating Amarasinghe-Dilshan combination. Something for the future for Sri Lanka, of course, these two. If we can keep them together, they will really be an asset for Sri Lanka, both in 7s and 15s. Vijay Tilaka makes a hash of it at the back and really puts Bandara under a little bit of pressure. Here's Ashan Bandara, responds well to the pressure and finds some touch, not a lot. But given that the bad ball that he had, he would be quite relieved to get that ball into touch in the first place.
Well, for the first time, Army under pressure, I would say. CRNFC gradually, slowly but steadily pushing. It seems like they're a little bit more settled. But this is going to be another challenging line out for CRNFC Shanaka.
No points at Longdon Place, but 10 points at Police Park, where Police have just got their first 3 points on the board in reply to Candy's early try. And that is Adahan, who took the ball at the front. And now CRNFC using this tried and tested method of marching the ball forward. Ball comes down without any foul play, says the referee. And that's good quick ball now. Chanaka Chandimal stepping back infield. Army's defense had come up very quickly outside him. Here's Hirushan Himantha. And terrible work there, dropping the ball. But luckily that they had a penalty coming. Offside. I talked about Chandimal having the defenders coming up, but they were a little too quick.
Well, Omarka was quick onto it. He wanted to go for the post. Makes sense. Want to get some points on the board and build gradually. It's not that easy what they thought against Army Sports Club. Army is always a tough challenge for them.
Points are an important factor on the scoreboard, Clifford. It doesn't matter how much pressure you're putting on a team if you're coming back without points. So I think it's important that CRNFC get these 3 points on the board, even if the forwards are feeling confident. I think I saw Omarka Gunaratne thinking about that for a bit, but then Riza Mubarak came in and said, look, man, I'm very confident. Let's take this one. So this should be bread and butter for Sri Lanka's premier place kicker for many, many years. Now has a challenger on his shoulder, Samuel Madhuanta, who's made a comeback for CHNFC.
Well, that's good to see Samuel Madhuanta coming up. And we will have continuity in that. So Riza Mubarak drawing first blood for CRNFC. 3-0 to CR against Army. There you go. Made it look so easy, Shanaka.
Yes, he's a very languid kicker, isn't he? It almost looks lazy the way he does it, but there's absolutely nothing lazy about it. I think the best players, Clifford, are the ones who make things look easy. And whether it's batting or bowling or just playing rugby, guys like Daniel Carter, the reason that they're so much better than everyone else is because they just make it look so simple. Gunaratne goes up and takes that well, but manages to drop it on the way back down. And Army are looking to play fast and loose, and here's Ashan Bandara. Lovely spot of the gap, and that's a great pass. Under the post goes his scrum half, Manoj Bandara. We spoke about that combination before kickoff, Clifford, and that is exactly what they're capable of. Bandara can turn it on in an instant. He can go from 0 to 60 in a couple of seconds, and Manoj Bandara ran a wonderful support line from a halfback. And again, the restart proving to be a real problem for CRNFC.
What a try. Good comeback there by Army Sports Club. 5-0 under the post and the conversion to come. And I'm sure Malka will be kicking himself for dropping that ball. Beautiful step inside and good support play there. And from there, no stopping him. Beautiful acceleration and goes under the post. 5-0.
It's 5 points to scrum half Manoj Bandara, the captain. But a lot of those points, the credit for those points also should go to Ashan Bandar, who spotted that Himanta Hirushan was in front of him, knew he could take the prop on moving laterally, and just turned down the gas in an instant, Clifford. Really good spotting of an opportunity. And that's what he's so good at. He really spots what's in front of him and plays what's in front of him. And hopefully the Sri Lanka selectors will be watching that as well. Isuru Madagedara puts the extra points on the board. And despite CR taking a lead, it lasts only a few seconds. As now they have conceded that lead. Army, in their home game on an away ground, leads CR by 7 points to 3.
So game on for CR and FC. They have to bring their A game. Trialing and testing is no longer needed now. All what you have to do is go out with all cylinders bursting.
Lovely restart. Lots of pressure put on Danushka Vijayatilaka, who takes it well. And Army's forwards have shown that they're willing to act like the pack of forwards they're supposed to be. Very much together. And that time Omarka Gunaratne has to go back. Riza Mubarak now will look up and see a swarm of Army's defenders like bumblebees spreading towards him. And he puts it into the only place where he thought he could. And here's Army now, and Tomasi was calling for it, but the pass to him was not a good one. If it had gone to hand, Clifford, that could have been curtains again.
I was about to say that, because he had an open field there. It was a long pass, a risky one too, but very unfortunate that he couldn't collect it. A little bit overstretched. Look at that pass once again. It was about half a foot back.
Well, I thought Bandara was not too much a man at fault. He threw that pass. It was a long pass. I thought maybe Tomasi could have accelerated onto it a little bit. But the two were not singing off the same hymn sheet. So an important scrum here for CRNFC. It's in an ideal position for a number 8 of the caliber of Omarka Gunaratne. Just inside the 15-meter line. And that gives him a lot of space on the blind side. CR opting to march this one forward, trying to win themselves a penalty, and that's exactly what they've done with Army spinning around. And the scrum has completely disintegrated here. So the referee is forced to blow it up. So I will take the points again. Clifford just points straight to the post. That's exactly what Omarka Gunaratne does. And Riza Mubarak will step up. This is bread and butter stuff for him on his home ground. The ground where he started his career as well.
Well, that makes sense because you need points on the board. And 7-3 trailing. And this is going to be an easy pick for CRNFC. Well, as we speak about the competition on field, Shanaka, that's competition off the field as well. Couple of papares or other bands competing against each other on both sides. Beautiful stuff, good atmosphere here. Longdon Place, lovely to see this.
Yes, the Army bands showing their versatility. showing that they can play the classics as well as a few of the ThePapare numbers. It's actually both army bands that are competing against each other. That won't put this man off, of course. He's taken kicks in far more trying circumstances. And 7 points to 6.
Well, that conversion brings CRNFC within touching distance of the Army. So 7-6. And Army, they have to regroup. And I'm sure they'll be coming strong. And except for 2 penalties conceded, their line has not yet been crossed. So that's the beauty about this Army defense. Look at that replay. Once again, made it look so easy and just clean one. Riza Mubarak, what an experienced player. Love to see him play.
Well, conditioning also will be a factor. How long can Army's forwards withstand these big CR lads? But again, the second restart in a row after he thundered down for 60 meters off the first one. Omar Gunaratne now drops 2. And looks like there was a little bit of an incident off the ball. You can go back and see that we don't have a replay today. But there seemed to be some thing off the ball. Rahul De Silva's gone down in a heap. Doesn't take away from the fact that CR have now botched 2 restarts and Army are really swarming at them. They know that this defense, this aggressive rush defense, can really unsettle good players. Clifford, we've seen it at the World Cup. We've seen guys in the caliber. Here we are. So that's the drop. Omar Gunaratne drops that ball down. Rahul De Silva's there at the back. And then he gets smashed and, well, it seems fine. Absolutely nothing wrong there. I think De Silva might have just overstretched his knee there, and that's going to be a big problem if they lose him this early on in the game.
Yeah, nothing harsh, nothing intentional. It was just a clean tackle. But on the move, his knee got caught and probably a knock. So the CR players are responding. And, well, nothing much. I hope he's going to be okay. But on the other hand, Omar Gunaratne, he just took his eyes off in the last minute, or rather last second. That's what happened. And, well, CRNFC again under pressure. Well, this is going to be another opportunity for Army Sports Club within the 22 meters of CRNFC. Can they make it count again? They did it once, and this is another opportunity for them.
Well, it might not be the time to call it a pattern, but it seems to be something that CRNFC have repeated twice already. Don't forget to get your brand recognized. It's Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, reaching out to so many people. And you can advertise with ThePapare.com. Call Modita on 0777 331810 or email him modita.veerasinghe@dialog.lk. Millions of people tuning into ThePapare.com, not just on the weekends, but with our segments as well, as we have over the course of the week, really analyzing all Sri Lankan sports for you. So it is a wonderful platform for your advertisement. And this doesn't look good for Rahul De Silva, does it, Clifford? He looks to be in a fair bit of pain, and the way his knee went over, I think he would be able to tell when it sounds bad. So physio doing his best to strap it, which is a good sign. He's not saying we have to take him off immediately, so that's a good sign. Nice little touch from Manoj Bandara as well, the Army captain, and his opposite number just going in there and saying, hope you recover, mate. That's what the game of rugby is all about, isn't it?
Well, that's the spirit, actually. And, well, it's just one-off incidents you see here and there. But other than that, it's good brotherhood between these players. Especially in Sri Lanka rugby, what we have seen is that friendship that lasts off the field as well. So that's the beauty about it. And Omar Gunaratne is a great example for that. Seems like Rahul is okay, and that's why he's having some strappings.
Well, one thing I've been a little concerned about over the course of this season with this CR team, Clifford, is they're not showing urgency when the ball is not in play. They're playing well, and they've played as well as they have in many seasons, but when the ball is not in play, the body language tends to drop a little bit, and then they pick it up once the ball is back in play. But that urgency of just getting to the mark quickly, making sure they play with the kind of pace that players of this caliber need, that's something that maybe they need to work on. in their training sessions as well, because when you have guys like Gamunu Chetia, Sandun Hera, Janitha Dilshan in your outside backs, you need the ball to get to them really quickly, and that doesn't happen just when you are going to the scrum or the line, or it needs to happen constantly throughout the game.
Well, except for a couple of occasions for the last 20 minutes, I don't think even Janitha Dilshan or Dinu Kamarasinghe will receive the ball. And well, it's pretty much down to Army, because they've been having possession most of the time, which is quite good for them. And once again, the scrum. Let's see whether Army can score to this as well.
Important scrum for Army here, just to see if they can get ahead. They've conceded, and now it's just a 1-point gap. Bandara to the other Bandara. Lovely switch from Tomasi. Gamunu Chetia drifts well enough to tackle Chandrasekhara. And that's great work from Mithila Pereira that time, turning that ball over, and Rahul De Silva has recovered well enough to get there on time. And he gives the ball to Chandimal, who will boot this into the safety of touch. In fact, not, because Chandrasekhara has gotten back to collect this just inside the touchline. Here's Madagedara. Madagedara smashed in the tackle by Panduka Angambana, and Angambana leads to a penalty there. Really well done.
Yeah, good work there by Gamunu Chetia as well, going in for that tackle and putting a lot of pressure on the ball carrier. But on the other hand, Army, the result for losing that move was basically, Shanaka, they didn't have much support play coming in when they go into contact. So that's what happened. You saw Tamuzi was there, but he was actually like backing up and staying there.
Well, I think that might be part of the plan. Madagedara and Gamunu Chetia and Pandukam Gambana combining there to that tackle. And it's good work from Panduka, who's recovered from a spate of injuries last season to be one of the first choice second rowers for CRNFC. Always good to have him on the park. Here's Fadil Adhan doing what he does best at the front of the line out, setting up that maul. Supun Vanalakulasuriya, his former teammate at Royal. And here's a lovely inside ball to Chetia. Chetia smashed back by Tomasi, who recovered well. Chanaka Chandimal pushed a little kick in. Could have gone anywhere, and Sandun Herath thought for a moment that he had a free run in, but there's been a knock on.
Well, no, it was an infringement before during the line out, and referee had to bring back play all the way back where the line out was there. So once again, chance of CR. So the question is whether they're going to go for touch or going for the post.
Well, it's kickable, but I think now they might feel that they have a little bit of momentum in the line out, that they want to go to it again. And a kick would have given them the lead, but they want to stamp their authority and show that they can score tries as well. Meanwhile, at Police Park, Kandy have scored for the second time with Lavanga Pereira crossing over. 15 points to 3 it is, as Adahan takes this one in a mirror image of what happened in the previous lineout. Army compete well this time though and repel the forward march of that CRNFC maul. Dinu Kamarasinghe at that time takes the ball strongly into contact. Such good technique from the young Antonian. The CRNFC now playing it a little bit close. Here's Jayasekara picking up at the front. Doesn't make many yards as Army's fringe defense is excellent again. This is a battle that CRNFC probably won't win in the close quarters, but what they really want to do is suck in players like Tomasi, and that's well done by CR. Just showed the ball to the outside and went straight back in. Here's Rahul De Silva. Straight through goes Amaka Gunaratna, so dangerous inside the opposition 22. Good counter-ruck from Army though. And there's a knock-on. Rahul De Silva is absolutely livid with himself, but Army's defense can take the credit for that knock-on. Clifford, they created it by the good counter-rucking. Outstanding work by the two lock forwards, Sarindu Bandara and Nalaka Maduranga, who really competed at every breakdown there and made the ball really difficult for Rahul De Silva to control.
Well, absolutely brilliant defense there by Army. They didn't give much space. They were pretty much pushing CR back, and CR was very much traveling on vertical way. But here, Raul De Silva committing that error and missing an opportunity where CR had. Look at that defense. Omalka was very strong enough, but look at that counter ruck coming in. Beautifully done. And that put a lot of pressure on Raul De Silva.
Excellent counter ruck, superb body position from the Army players. And Radhika Hettiarachchi will be very proud. That's the kind of stuff that makes coaches proud, not the 100-meter runs that people may do to score tries, but just those little things that create pressure, create mistakes. And that would have been made Radhika Hettiarachchi, who returns to coaching after a bit of a layoff, really happy about that. Here's the try that Army scored. Ashan Bandara ghosting through that gap, finding a superb short pass at pace to Manoj Bandar, who was running a lovely angle, and no chance for Chetia to cut the Army skipper off before he touched down under the posts.
7-6 is the score. Army still leading by a point. CR, they had the best opportunity of the game to cross that line, and they missed it to the sheer brilliance of Army defense.
All the photographs and videos on ThePapare.com can be purchased at very reasonable rates. So call 0777 337 458 if you see yourself in one of the galleries, in the crowd, on the pitch, wherever you may be. And all these photographs are available for you. So this is a big scrum for CRNFC if they want to try and turn that ball over. So this is where CR will show their mettle. They have put their back into it, and Vijay Tilaka has to come away from the base of that scrum pretty quickly, and the red shirts swarm all over him, but he's done well, the Army number 8, to retain that ball. CR now trying a little bit of their own, the medicine they received, and Bandara thumps this one way behind Gamunu Chetia, and Riza Mubarak is well set for the defensive read. Here's Chetia again, smashed in a tackle one more time by the flanker Chamira Silva, who has been outstanding so far. That's a nice ball over the top, but Tomasi has his opposite number well marked. Dinu Kamarasinghe does well to stay on his feet. Chandimal in the scrum half position that time. Charging onto it was Angammana. Wannakula Surya that time. Here's the captain, Omalka Gunaratne, fending off as he does so often. Here it is again through Chanaka Chandimal. Lovely hands from Wajid Faumi. Dinu Kamarasinghe lays it back, and there's no offside there as Army grabbed this back through Chandrasekhar, who has pickpocketed the ball away, and Manoj Bandara forced onto his left foot. Thumps it right down the throat of Riza Mubarak. But penalty, says the referee, for a high tackle. And Chandrasekhar, I think, when he gathered that ball, would have gotten hit high.
Well, Murshid Zubair has been penalized for the high tackle. Good passage of play again by Army there. CRNFC, they had the ball, and the offload by Gamunu Chetia was not that clean. It was loose ball, and that gave the opportunity for Army to regain momentum.
Tomasi Kaingasau is a man entrusted with thumping that one into touch, which he does obligingly. Takes his team up to about the halfway mark.
Well, Shanak, very interestingly, that's the first penalty for Army after 27 minutes.
That's Rahul De Silva's high tackle. I guess by the letter of the law, it's an accurate call, but you have to feel for players. It's a game of inches now. Lakmal Dadallage to throw into this line out for Army. Fake to the front and go to the middle. Well taken that time by Bandara. Danushka Vijay Tilaka, who's been carrying the ball well, the Army number 8. Here it is again through the actual player with number 8 on his back. That's Chamira Silva, the flanker. Bandara very deep to Koingasau, who thumps this ball high into the air. Nobody seems to want it except Rahul De Silva, who goes up and manages to knock it on. Brave of Rahul to go up in a melee of players. But unfortunately, he should probably not have been the one competing for that ball. There should have been other players, maybe midfielders, who claimed it.
Well, Shanaka, 28 minutes gone. Still 7-6 is the score. Both the teams are finding it difficult to break those lines, except for Army crossing the CR line for the first time. And CR just only with 2 penalties. The battle is so intense. And it's very much belongs to the forwards, if you look at it. And both the sides are there playing really well, especially Army defense in terms of what they did to recover and recycle certain balls and turn this over. That's been fantastic. 7-6, Army leading.
Manoj Bandara has another good attacking scrum, just in between the 50-meter line and the 10-meter line. Bandara, they're going sideways though. Isuru Madhagadara straightens the line a little bit, but Dinu Kamarasinghe trails him, drags him down. And here's Sia's defensive line, which looks a little bit ragged, but Army don't do themselves any favors by the inaccuracy of their passing. Here's Bandara. Was Nalaka Madhuranga who managed to get the ball out. Kainga Sao does really well. Madhuranga again stays on his feet. And holding on is the call from referee Ishank Abekun. Quickly taken, and this is what Sia should have been doing. Lovely ball again from Janitha Dilshan, and that's a good pass to Chetia, but there's so many Army defenders wanting to shepherd him into touch. Dragged down in the end by prop forward. He wouldn't be happy about that, would Gamunu Chetia. Shehan Silva is the man who makes the tackle. Bursting onto that on the angle was Omarka Gunaratne. And that's an offside call definitely on Sampath Kumara, who was lying on the floor in an offside position. Didn't retire behind the last foot, and surely Omarka Gunaratne will want a lead now that they've tried so hard to batter their way past Army's defence. A kick which Riza Mubarak will almost certainly knock over from here will make it 9 points to 7, but there is a little bit of a conversation that needs to be had.
Well, with that penalty, it looks so easy once again for Riza Mubarak. Is very much in a good position for him to do. If he can convert that, that's going to be 9-7. CR will go into lead. But seems like there's a card coming out, or maybe is it going to be a warning?
Manoj Bandara. Listening
Look at that
to
big lad begging.
Sampath Kumara it was, who was in the offside position. It could be seen as a cynical foul, but I think the referee, seeing the sincerity on his face, kept his card in his pocket. Not the first time we've seen arms clasped together in prayer for referees not to pull out the yellow card. Here's Kumara. He's on the floor there. And in fact, no, it was Kumara who, in the number 1 jersey, who got up quickly. And this should give CRNFC the lead after the first points they scored with about 15 minutes in the game. Army have led ever since. And in the 32nd minute of the game, Mubarak will try to grab the lead back by 2 points. That was never really in any danger of missing. There have been pretty easy shots, except perhaps the second one for Riza Mubarak at goal, but ones that you'd expect a kicker of his caliber to make. It's exactly what he's done to this CRNFC team. He's allowed them to accumulate points and provide a real experience at the back. And here's a restart again, Clifford. Are we going to see that pattern again?
Well, let's hope they're not going to target Omarka.
Well, that's exactly what they do. But this time, Omarka Gunaratne manages to catch it, and it's 2 out of 4. smashing his way down the touchline, still going, bouncing off. And then they throw the ball away. Just stepping into touch. But he made 60 meters off 2 restarts and dropped the other 2. So it's 50% success rate for Omalka Gunaratna. But his opposite number, Dhanushka Gunatilaka, came off the worst for wear in that contact.
Well, what a brilliant run. Every time I see him running, look at that. Look at that. Look at the pace that he has developed. Fantastic. I saw him playing in the Mercantile Rugby Sevens finals. Had a brilliant game. He showed so much of class. And you can see that here again. He's a boy in shape and a man in form. Beautiful stuff by Omalka.
Certainly is just one aspect of his game that perhaps if he could improve, running into the gap and not looking for the contact as much, and maybe offloading just before he makes the contact, that'll make him just a devastating sevens player. Clifford, he's already a pretty devastating 15s player as well. But just if he can bring that distribution angle into his game and improve on that in the upcoming years, what an asset for Sri Lanka. That being said, Dhanushka Wijayatilaka did just enough to put him into touch.
But I think also, Shanak, I think he likes running into contact.
Well, that's something that coaches need to wean him off of, Clifford. It's always very... it's like a drug for players to just smash people back, especially a player like Omalka who can do that. But it will improve his game so much if he's able to just be a little bit more rapier-like instead of sledgehammer-like. Lovely kick. Good chase as well. Rahul De Silva does well under it. Sandun Herat didn't do his scrum half any favours by getting onto the wrong side. Beautifully done. That time by Shehan Silva, thundering his way down after he escaped the yellow card from the referee. And that time CRNFC are way offside. And here's Kainga Sao screaming for it, but they miss him and go to Chandrasekhara instead. Chandrasekhara cutting back in field. Here they go again through Bandara. Madhuranga in midfield. It's been used to set the ball up there. Manoj Bandar with a nice flat long ball to Ashan Bandar, who's standing very wide of the breakdown. It's an interesting ploy that Army are using. They're using Manoj Bandara's long pass, the width of his pass, to go really long behind that first spot of forwards. And you see Ashan Bandara not using the width of that pass enough. But really good play from Army that time. A little bit of inaccuracy, but apart from that, really promising stuff from the soldiers.
Well, Tomasi seems to be shying away from the responsibilities, I guess. He's just letting the ball go off on a couple of occasions. But he's looking for that space for him to run. He doesn't like going into contact that much.
Well, it's also nice to see, isn't it, Clifford, that these bottom 4 teams are allowed to use their foreign player, but Army are not using him at every opportunity. They're not just passing him the ball and say, do what you will, mate. They're actually using him intelligently. They're using him to decoy other defenders away from the ball carrier. So I like the way that Army are using it. They're not just using him as their only option. They're using him as an intelligent option. And that's kudos to the Army philosophy as well as to Coach Radhika Hettiarachchi.
Well, Shanak, I think Radhika Hettiarachchi has the experience of playing along with the foreigners when he was playing for Kandy. And probably like that's the ploy that that he's trying to deploy here. But something it's good, and it's something that we have to take note of, definitely, that's for sure. And chance for Army to extend the lead right now, or rather get back into lead. 9-7 is the score. Just very much kickable distance.
This will be the 4th lead change of the game and the first half, in fact, if this happens. Sia went 3-0 in front. Army hit back immediately for 7-3. Sia went 9-7 in front just moments ago. And Madhugedara now has a chance to lead by 1 point if this kick goes through, which it does very comfortably. And Army now will get a little bit of confidence back, knowing that they can take this lead into halftime with Isuru Madhugedara putting through a penalty. and giving Army a 10 points to 7 lead on what is their home game, although it is the opposition's home ground.
(10-9) is the score. Army back into the lead, probably going into half time if no scores hereafter, or rather from here onwards until the half time whistle. That's going to give some advantage psychologically for Army, that's for sure. So CR with the restart.
Referees are checking their clocks, and it looks like Rahul De Silva might be departing the game. Looks like that knee injury is something that he can't carry on with. And that we'll see Harit Bandara coming into the number 9 jersey. Dhanushka Wijayatilaka takes his third or fourth restart in this game already. And Bandara to Bandara. And Ashan Bandara very deliberately not kicking this ball into touch. Using it to thread it down the touchline. Here's Kevin Dixon who's come on actually, not Harit Bandara. So they're using Dixon as a halfback just to attach a little bit of danger. In fact, Bandara is on as well. It looks like there's a double substitution. Sandun Herath has gone off. And Kevin Dixon is on. So might be an injury worry for Sandun Herath as well, who in the lead up to Army's penalty may have got smashed in the back when he went into that restart. Into the breakdown rather. But this is interesting. Harit Bandara and Kevin Dixon, two very quick thinking players, Clifford. It might be a blessing in disguise for CRNFC at this point.
Well, I agree on that. These two players, electrifying players, especially Kevin Dixon, he can change the game. And he has done it. We have seen him doing it. And look at that. That's the infringement. Not releasing the ball. Good stuff there by CRNFC. And once again, Risa Mubarak coming into the rescue.
See Pandu Gangamana throwing his arms up there. And that's something that's crept into the game recently that I'm not entirely happy with, Clifford. You know how football players appeal a lot to referees. And it seems that rugby players are kind of catching that epidemic a little bit. You saw it at the World Cup as well, even at the international stage. Players appealing to the referee, saying, "Come on, sir." And Reza Mubarak, as regular as clockwork, knocks over his fourth kick of the game and retakes the lead. So our fifth lead change of this game. But Army's defense really has to take a lot of credit. They've not allowed CR in for tries, but unfortunately they've conceded penalties in very vulnerable positions on the field.
Yeah, 12-10 CR on the lead again. And it's about to be the half-time. Army with the restart.
Gunaratne at the last moment calls it to Harit Bandara. And Bandara manages to boot it out into touch. And it looks like it is half-time, so CRNFC will not have to suffer that line out in their 22. They'll be quite happy to go into the shed with just a 2-point lead, 12 points to 10. Highlights will be coming up on ThePapare.com. You're watching CRNFC versus Army in this Dialog Rugby League. The highlights will come up a little bit later on in the game, in a few minutes actually. 12 points to 10. Who do you think will be happier at halftime, Clifford? Obviously CRNFC favourites given the way that they're unbeaten so far in this season. But Army will not be too upset by the performance they've put on.
Well, I would say then CRNFC Army will be pretty happy about how they're going in and how they have defended well. And there's a lot of credit goes to the Army defense, and they can take a lot from that. Only thing is they have to work towards is not conceding so many penalties. And there you go. That's the highlights.
Ashan Bandara, and this was the first highlight of the game, of course, from the kickoff. Thundering through was Amarko Gunaratne, the CRNFC captain, leading from the front, as they would say, but unfortunately CR were only able to get a penalty off of that. Could perhaps have pressed for a try. And here's Ashan Bandara, looked up, saw Himanta Hirushan in front of him. No fault of the prop, of course, but just a defensive line for CR not aligning. And Manoj Bandara, the Army skipper, going in for the only try of the game so far. Reza Mubarak then called upon to slot over his second penalty. Third penalty. And then Isuru Madagedara knocked over Army's only penalty of the half. It's given them 10 points And Mubarak grabbed the lead back in the one before the last play of that first half and managed to give his team a 12 points to 10 lead. But if Sia are looking to win this game by a bonus point, they've got plenty to do at half-time, or in the second half rather. We'll be back on ThePapare.com.
වෙඩින් එකට තාම හොටෙල් එකවත් බුක් කරලා නැහැනේ.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම් සුදු.
අලු සීට් එකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්. දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, a Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
Ceylon personal loan කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with a heart.
රුපියල් 5කින් මොනවද කරන්න පුළුවන්? 5කින්
අලු සීට් එකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
සර්, සර්ගේ පේමන්ට් එක සෙටල් කරන්න තියෙනවා.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්. දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, a Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
Ceylon personal loan කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with a heart.
உங்கள் கிராமத்தில், உங்கள் நகரில், உங்கள் பிரதேசத்தில் உள்ள வீரர்கள் திறமையானவர்களா? அவளின் திறமைகளை நீங்கள் அறிந்து கொள்ள வேண்டுமா? தமிழ் பேசும் உங்களின் திறமைகளை உலகறியச் செய்யும் உங்களுக்கான யூடியூப் சேனல் www.youtube.com/ThePapare Tamil.
වෙඩින් එකට තාම හොටෙල් එකවත් බුක් කරලා නැහැනේ.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම් සුදු.
අලු සීට් එකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්. දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, a Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
සිලාන් පර්සනල් ලෝන් කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with a heart.
ක්‍රීඩාවා සම්බන්ධ කතන්දර දැනගෙන හිටියට විතරක් මදි. ඒවා ලෝකෙටම ඇහෙන්න කියන්න පුළුවන් ක්‍රමයක් ගැනයි මේ කියන්නේ. නිකම්ම නෙමෙයි මුදල් උපයන්නත් පුළුවන්. ක්‍රීඩාව ගැන රසකතා දන්නවා නම් ඒවා නිර්මාණශීලීව රූප මාධ්‍යයෙන් ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් කතා කරන්න අපට 0777 822 777 නැත්නම් ඊමේල් කරන්න careers@thepapare.com. thepapare.com ක්‍රීඩාවට හදවතින්ම.
අලු සීටිකක් දැම්මන නරකයි.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
සර්ගේ පේමන්ට් එක සෙටල් කරන්න තියෙනවා.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න. දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, a Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
සිලාන් පර්සනල් ලෝන් කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with a heart.
Watching the clash between CRNFC versus Army Sports Club here at Longdon Place. Going into half-time. It's 12-10 and Army playing a fantastic game. Good defensive display by Army and not giving much space and width for CRNFC to perform. So therefore only the boots have contributed. Pardon me. Only the points have come from Riza Mubarak. That's 12 points, 4 conversions or rather 4 penalties. And a couple of injuries for CRNFC, which has brought in Kevin Dixon on the field. And also, there is Risa Rafaidin, who is on the bench. And probably we can expect him to be on the field for it anytime soon. But on the other hand, I would say Army playing a superb game here. Shanaka?
Well, see, I haven't been at their free-flowing best. Got a lot of attacking options outside, but haven't been able to get the ball to them. I would probably be going to the bench for Murshid Zubair sooner rather than later. Danushka Vijayatilaka again with a wonderful catch and under real pressure from Sia. Lucky to get away with that one, I thought, the Sia chaser.
Go back.
Calls for a high tackle from the crowd as Bandara hacks that one away under pressure from Wajid Faumi. Have to go a long way back, Didomaku Gunaratna, to collect that one. And Reza Mubarak has no option but to put this one deep into the Army territory for Kaingasau to run this one back. Kaingasau on Kevin Dixon. And there might have been a knock on there, but referee says play on. He was right on the spot. Here's Bandar, a lovely pass across the face of the defense. Good hands from Army that time. Straight over the top, says the referee. So Sia conceding a penalty early doors. And Kaingasau just putting that ball, trying to put it on a button for the galloping Chandrasekhara, but the referee will bring it back for no advantage.
Well, Chandrasekhara had an opportunity there, mistimed the ball completely. Had he collected it, it would have been another 5 points for Army. But CR conceding an early penalty here in the second half.
Again, good to see Kaingasau just looking up, seeing what's happening behind or in front of him, and just putting the ball into space. He's not your typical Fijian player who just likes to smash things up and put in the fancy offload. So that's good to see for this Army team, bringing the other players into the game, not just isolating himself by making big runs.
Well, good kick there.
Center line.
Pretty much about 25 to 30 yards, I would say. And it's chance for Army. They are inside CR territory. They have the line out.
Here's good hands from the two props. Sampath Kumara handing off to Shehan Silva. And winning the important penalty, which now has led to this line out. Adahan trying to disrupt at the front. It's a four-man line out that Army have called. They've gone way over the back. And here's Vijay Tilaka, who does well. But leaves the ball behind, and Chanaka Chandimal steps one, steps two, and then hands over to his back. Here's Janidu Dilshan. Stops and goes again. Omar Gunaratne, lovely handoff. That's what he needs to do a little bit more of. Wajid Fahmi running a beautiful angle. And at that time it was Chanaka Chandimal who puts the ball in behind Isuru Madagedra, who will watch this roll over into the dead ball area and touch it down gratefully. So again, option taking from Chandimal. Probably something that they need to think about a little bit. Here's Sudaraka Dikkumbara, who's thinking about taking a quick one, but Kevin Dixon is alive to the danger. So wasted kick because it went over the dead ball line there. And CRNFC hadn't had a lot of balls, so they really want to keep this in hand, Clifford.
Yeah, that's what they have to do. They have to have the ball to make anything work. And right now you can see the CRNFC three quarters are pretty much frustrated. They are not seeing much of the ball.
Well, this could be dangerous for Army. Kevin Dixon in broken field. Steps past one, can't get past the other. Good tackle in the end by Manoj Bandara, the skipper. Been leading really from the front for Army. Lovely angle by Omar Gunaratne. Hurdles over the tackler. And it was a forward pass, says the referee. So that angle that Gunaratne came in on was probably a little bit, the timing was a little bit off. You can see it here. Chandimal, that's not what you want at this stage of the game, certainly.
Well, those are basic errors. You have to time your run, but if the player isn't fast, you should miss that. And it's not necessary where you have to pass to him. But here, on the other hand, Army, they regain the position. They have the ball in hand. And I'm sure the second half they're going to do a lot of attacking than defending. They did that the first half pretty much at the time.
Those unforced errors are really what brings the morale of the team down. Such a good opportunity that they've squandered. Dhanushka Vijay Tilaka into that contact goes Senanayaka. Bandara with a pass at the feet of Kainga who does really well to get this ball away to Sudaraka Dikkumbara with the one-handed offload. Stood so strong in the tackle. Gunaratne smashes back. And I'm not sure that was really any foul play as Manoj Bandara tears off. Be interesting to see that one again if we can, but not sure that could happen. But Janidu Dilshan has now poached this ball. Janidu Dilshan, not really sure how that ball ended up in his hands, but it doesn't matter because Dilshan will go under the posts for the kind of try that he makes a habit of. But the referee will have a little bit of a discussion and they will go back to have a look at what happened for the ball to end up in Janidu Dilshan's hands. And after the discussion, the referee runs back under the post and awards the try, despite the protestations of Army.
Oh, beautiful stuff by this young lad, Janidu Dilshan. A fantastic sevens player. And right now in 15s, he's shining again. I think it was an interception. It was a crowded passage. The ball was moving around. Look at that. Goes to the right. A kick was blocked, in fact. Beautifully picked up, and look at that strides. Beautiful high knees and stretches his feet. And Janidu Dilshan scores under the post. CR extend the lead.
The thing that interests me most about Janidu Dilshan as a player, Dinuk is not just his obvious talent, but that he looks like someone who belonged in the 70s. He's a guy who still tucks his shirt in. He's a guy who still pulls his socks up. And he runs very classically as well with, as you said, that high knee action with the heels almost touching his buttocks as he runs. And that's the kind of stuff that we're used to seeing way back in the day as Reza Mubarak puts over those penalties as well. So Janitha Dilshan, it's almost as if he's just burst onto the scene from 30 years ago. And it really is a joy to behold when he's running away in broken field like that. Hopefully CRNFC will be able to keep him strong and fit, and Sri Lanka Rugby will make him the asset that he obviously is.
So Army has to fight back again. 19-10, CR leading now.
Harit Bandara taking that ball as Gunaratna directs traffic, but a wonderful kick from Reza Mubarak to get them a lot of breathing space. So the coach will be much happier at how that restart was dealt with. Harit Bandara has come on and made a difference, taking a couple of restarts already. So this is where CRNFC could really turn the screws if they want to on this game. Really attack these lineouts, pressure Army and make sure that they get another score. Whether it's a try or a penalty won't matter, but if they can get 2 scores in a row, I think they will feel a little bit more confident. Wanting the bonus point, obviously. They've got 3 more tries to score and they haven't looked anywhere near creating something. A lot of movement in the line-out, but it's still a good one. Sanjay Ratnayaka winning that line-out for Army. Show and go that time from the winger. That was Madhagadra coming into the line. And Kainga Sao says, "Oh, you sure, ref?" But he was.
Well, the Army 3/4 has been a little bit slow in the takeoff. They don't have the acceleration. The moment they get the ball, they just start thinking what to do next. It's kind of the play that, the impression that they give for me. But on the other hand, CR and FC forwards, or rather the 3/4, are really defending well. They're not giving much width for the Army.
With the kind of backline that CRNFC possess, we've only seen 1 try coming in the second half. 45 minutes it took them to score that one. And that also coming from a kick charge down, Clifford. So I think if I was the CRNFC fans, I'd be a little concerned at how much they've created in this game. They're not really creating a lot. You can see Radhika Hettiarachchi barking orders at this Army team. He doesn't look too happy now that the scoreline is beyond 1 score. Letting his team know it as well. Played well, Army, so far in the first half.
Well, suddenly the ground goes quiet. And CRNFC 19-10. They really have to work towards that 19 points, Shanaka.
They've made a bit of a shift in the back 5 here. Wajid Fahmi comes onto the open side and Adahan goes onto the flank. It's like Mithila Pereira has gone into the second row just to get that shove on. Here's Omaka Gunaratna making the break into that 10-12 channel. They really need to use the speed of this ball now, but it's quite slow. Reza Mubarak straightens and gives it to Kevin Dixon, who doesn't have much option. Mubarak is on hand to pick up again and does well to keep this ball in fields. And taken quickly that time by Janitha Dilshan. Chanaka Chandimal. Again, not 10 meters will be the call from referee Shankar Bekun, and Manoj Bandara will be called upon as Sudaraka Dikkumbura made that tackle on Chandimal well before getting into that 10-meter area.
Well, that's the first yellow card. And it's pretty obvious. We can't do that. There was quick thinking there by CRNFC. They saw the Army defense was a little bit disorganized and opted to go for that quick tap.
Again, presence of mind from Janitha Dilshan there to take that quick tap. You were talking about how you wanted to see more urgency from the CR team, Clifford, and he's the one who's showing that he knows what they need to do to win this game. Susisa Senanayaka will sit out 10 minutes in the bin, so it will make Kaingasau the lone midfielder. CR really no prizes for guessing what they were going to do with that line out. We'll look to march this one over. They've got a little bit of momentum now, and Gayan Jayasekara is the man who adds his bulk to it, but Supun Valnakarasuria is the one who goes over from the back of that maul, and suddenly CR are pulling away in this game.
Look at him, how relieved. Look at the faces. And they've been waiting for this moment. And probably they thought within the first 20-25 minutes they can get this lead. But until the first strike came through, Janitha Dilshan and now Supun Valnakarasuria, they don't have a healthy cushion. Beautiful line out, cleanly taken. Nicely powered by the forwards. Well, Army defense is very intact and they were quite good as well. But Supun Valnakarasuria just simply breaking away. Beautiful stuff.
It's a right royal connection there between Valnakarasuria, Adahan, and then back to Valnakarasuria. And of course, it's a tactic that is very, very difficult to stop. Remember Kumar Sangakkara saying about Muthaya Muralidharan's bowling. You know what's coming, but you still got to play it. That's exactly what this driving maul is, not just for CRNFC, but across the international game. Very difficult ploy to counter. And Reza Mubarak continues his 100% form, the most difficult kick of the afternoon for him. And as we say, strikes it over with his eyes almost closed there. Seen another substitution for CRNFC.
One of the best fullbacks I have ever seen Sri Lanka has ever produced, Reza Mubarak.
Gayan Dilshan comes on for Panduka Angammana. And Udara Gayan goes off. And Milan Veerasinghe comes in. His first run on, his first game for CRNFC. Congratulations to the former Kingswood captain. Had an outstanding season for his school in the front row and with the captain's armband. Omar Gunaratne again taking a couple of players down with him. But CR camped inside their 22. Chandimal from the middle of the field had a difficult touch find under pressure. I think that was just by the skin of Chandimal's teeth, because that was carried back, wasn't it, Clifford?
It was. It was beautiful stuff. And that was actually a difficult kick, in fact, under pressure. And pretty much from the middle of the park, you had to put a lot of effort to find touch while you have to gain distance. So that's what they did. So line out for Army, trailing by 26 points to 10. 53 minutes on the clock. So there's plenty of time left for Army to score twice, thrice. Maybe they can do it.
Again, a repeat of Army's performance last weekend. Probably just not showing enough character in the second half. Mentally not up for an 80-minute game. Here's Kaingasau, showing that he needs to take matters into his own hands a little bit more now. But good defense on him as well. Omar Gunaratne staring daggers at the Army team. Nobody's getting past me, if ever a face could say that. Oh dear, oh dear. And maybe, as we were talking about, a little too much aggression from the CR captain, Clifford.
Well, referees don't tolerate that, no matter how big you are. But he's the man with the green shirt, referee Ishank Abesinghe, Abekon in fact. So it's yellow card to Army as well as yellow card to CR for 2 different infringements.
So both teams now reduced to 14 players. CRNFC down a number 8 and Army down an outside centre. How much will that matter now for Army, who have a attacking line out for the first time in a long time? Way inside the CRNFC 22. Army's line out has functioned really well so far. Got 2 men out in front. That's Bandara in the number 5 jersey, and of course the other target, who will be Madhuranga, in the number 4 jersey, and he's the man they go to. Wins it in the front. And they transfer the ball nicely to a different point of attack and make a good 6 or 7 meters quite easily. Here's Silva. In fact, Sampath Kumara, the number 1 jersey. Army almost coughing up the ball there, but doing well to hold on to it.
Don't do that. Number 18, do that.
Here they are again at close quarters. This is a aspect of the game that Army will thrive at. Bandara. Nice wide pass again to the other Bandara, the 3rd Bandara in the Army ranks today. This is good continuity from the Army lads using their big men. Here's Danushka Vijaytilaka. Madhuranga thundering forward, repelled by Sia, and here's Himantha Hirushan, who's come away with the ball. And really well picked up that time from Dinu Kamarasinghe. But the referee saying that there was no advantage coming from that knock-on. And Milan Veerasinghe will have to undergo his first club rugby scrum. It's a baptism of fire if there ever was one, Clifford. The step up from school to club is so different.
Well, compared to good old days, it's been very rare as well. You see a school player coming and immediately playing in club season.
Time off.
And
Ball down.
right now, that's going to be something interesting for him. A memorable game for him, starting for CRNFC, or in fact, coming on to field in the second half in CRNFC, going into the first scrum in his own half.
Well, CR probably the only team to have done that recently, Clifford, because they had Himantha Hirushan also coming off a Royals Championship winning team of last year and coming almost straight into the CRNFC team. Can remember, of course, Gavin Jayasekara, the championship winning St. Thomas's side of 2000, coming straight into prop on the other side of Harin Gabriel, the former Sri Lanka prop. But of course, Milan Veerasinghe is lucky that Nanayakkara is not propping opposite him for Army. Devastating player in the loose as well as in the scrum. So he will be quite happy that these are 2 less experienced front rowers for Army, although they've been excellent in the loose. Both Sampath Kumara and the tight head, Shehan Silva. Veerasinghe already straight into it. So you can see on the near side, closest to your camera, you've seen Veerasinghe going up and to his left. And you've looked at the Army loose head, Sampath Kumara, trying to get under him, Clifford. And that's really where you win and lose the scrum. So Sampath Kumara is trying to get under Veerasinghe, who's a tall player. And as soon as you allow the opposite prop to get under you, that's when you concede body position.
Fine. Set. Steady. Steady.
You can see pulling him and holding him up. Clean scrum. Reza Mubarak finds touch. Yes, it is. So that'll give some breathing space for CRNFC.
Well, he hasn't done anything spectacular this season so far, Clifford, but Reza Mubarak is a huge reason as to why CRNFC are where they are in the table, because he's able to do the basic things like that really well. So he's bought his team about 40 meters from that touch kick. And other players may be winning only 20 meters, 15 meters from those touch kicks. He's got all the time in the world, doesn't make the kind of mistakes that other players make. And of course, he's scored all the points so far as well off his boot with 5 kicks that have gone through. So that's the kind of ability that he has. Despite not being the Christian Cullen type of fullback, he really makes sure that the teams are ticking the points over very regularly. So this young CR team are very privileged to have him at the back. A lot of movement again, and that time Bandara winning it. Here's Kaingasau. Kaingasau carrying the ball in both hands, manages to get the pass away. Beautiful offload from the Fijian. Manoj Bandara again with that nice wide pass, but that time Ashan Bandara's pass is not a good one. But here's the man who manages to go back and collect it, and that was the lock Nalaka Maduranga. Manoj Bandara swivels, looks for his key man Kaingasau. Stays strong in the tackle.
Off the feet. You off the feet. You off the feet. No, you off the feet. Back. Go back.
That pass is not a good form from Manoj Bandara, and Ami coughed the ball up. And on hand is Hirushan to pick the ball up, but there's no advantage from that.
Well, the ball was tapped off the arm, and good defensive play, not only going for the player, going along with the ball. So he managed to win the ball. That's something interesting. But Riza Mubarak, today, man of the match performance. Shanaka, what do you think?
Well, there's a lot more to go in this game, and he's done the job expected of him. But there are a few performances that we need to talk about. Still a quarter of this game left, Clifford, so might be a little early for us to discuss that.
Well, no, I'm not discussing the man of the match. Well, actually, so far what he has done for his team. So he's been an outstanding player, if I put it in that way. I'm not saying taking any credit away from the other players, but the forwards have done so well. But like you rightly said, he has bailed out his teams on several occasions.
Certainly has, as Ariza Rafaidin comes onto the park as well. We'll tell you who sat down in a moment. So, real talent on the wings. Kevin Dixon on one wing and Riza Rafaidin, Sri Lanka's 2 first-choice sevens players. And they would be itching to get the ball in their hands. And I said this at half-time, and I can't stress it enough, but Murshid Zubair really needs to make an entrance now against the tired defense with the game almost sewn up at 26 points to 10. No better place to give the young player a chance, especially since he's been training all week. Gamanu Chetia has moved into the outside centre position, so I think Janidu Dilshan has taken a seat.
Stay.
Harit Bandara. Mubarak shifting into the fly half position. And that kick just goes a little too deep. Bandara thinking about passing it, taking it quickly. Army taking their time that they don't really have.
Get behind.
So 15 against 14 right now. Army has Dikumura back on the field, and Omar Kagunratne is still out.
Vanna Kolasurya, bit more confidence after his try. Mubarak stepping, taking it up to halfway.
Okay.
Harit Bandara swivels, finds Gayan Dilshan, who is a new man on the pitch with the fresh legs. They'll be looking to use him to carry the ball a bit more. Here's Mithila Pereira for the first time with the ball in hand. Here's Harit Bandara again, Gayan Dilshan, as I said, looking for the new man to take the ball into contact. Good quick ball. Here's Himanta Hirushan, the hard-working prop. Sudaraka Dikkumara takes him over, but
Go back.
allows him to gain valuable meters. Here's Chandimal, puts his head down and goes straight into the tackle of the new man for Army, Bulat Singhalage. Kicking the ball away, but Mubarak knew that the penalty was coming when he put that little grubber in, so he'll be quite happy to take another penalty, kick it into the corner and see if Sia can rumble it over once again. It's a 7-man pack.
They're opting to go for touch. Well, that shows the confidence they have. They got points on the board. They can take a chance.
And as if on cue, Omar Gunaratne rushes off the naughty chair to join this line out, so they will have their full complement. They will have their 8 men.
So CRNFC 26-10, and they are inside Army territory, and they have the ball in hand, and that's going to be a line out. And with Omar Gunaratne back on the field, that's going to be a real threat for Army.
Fadil Adahan does really well in the face of enormous pressure from Army's lock, Tarindu Bandara. You can see Adahan smacking his forwards on the back, urging them forward like a cattle herd would do his bullocks. And Hirushan still going, and in fact that was Supun Mandakula. Here's the pass from Harit Bandara. It's slow, but Kevin Dixon has some space. Rafaidin is over. Reza Rafaidin touches down despite the advantage on the other side of the field. Reza Rafaidin, with his first touch of the ball, has found a try.
Well, what a classy player he is. And Kevin Dixon coming in and supporting him. Look at that, jubilant captain. And Reza Rafaidin with his first touch, he scores. Score moves up to 31. Beautiful stuff. Second half belongs to CR. They're gradually taking the game away from Army. And that's going to be a tough task for the boys in yellow.
Well, it's one of the few times we've seen the ball actually going past 10, isn't it, Clifford, and in an attacking position. You look at Harit Bandar, he realizes that the penalty is coming. And he throws a pass. It was a risky pass, but he knew that he had a free play almost. And he calls in Kevin Dixon. You can see that Bandara is thinking about 2 stages ahead here. Supun Vandakulasuriya goes, then he picks up and then finds the pass. And that's well picked up by Chandimal. And then the ball goes out. That's Reza Mubarak again, sensing what's on outside of him. And then we had Kevin Dixon injecting himself from the right wing and finding the space. So really good distribution that time. And a wonderful kick again from Reza Mubarak. 6 kicks he's got, 6 kicks he's put over. And with the lovely pass also to find Dixon there, he really is stamping his authority on this game.
Beautiful stuff. Look at that. Good body position, good angle, good concentration. And he makes no mistake. Reza Mubarak, what a player.
Well taken that time by Wajid Fahmy.
Stay, last foot.
Himanta Hirushan in the second pod of forwards. Carried back, so Chandimal can't kick this one out on the full. Puts it straight down the throat of Madagedra, who palms it backwards to safety. And that time it's taken by Chandimal again, who will opt for the kick. He seems to find it as an option more often than not. And on the park is Chamat Fernando. Reza Mubarak this time sees the space behind Dik Kumura and threads the ball down towards the corner flag, but he's unlucky with the bounce as the ball dribbles in to touch in goal. So they will have to come back. It was a right idea for Mubarak, but the first mistake is made all day.
Yeah, the intention was pretty clear, but very unfortunate for him. And that's a little bit overcooked. But that's give the opportunity for the Army for Army to regroup, resettle, and plant that scrum really strong and get the ball out of there and out of the blocks. 67 minutes on the clock, 33-10. CR, they have taken this game away from Army.
Yes, it reads comfortably on the scoreboard. But CR will be much happier with that fourth try and a bonus point. They've got 13 minutes with which to do it in. Another hand much to the relief of Deshant Luke and the rest of the bench. Regains his rightful place at the second row.
Coach. Bye. Set. Steady. Steady. Step out. Step out.
Army picking up and going. But knocking on, and you can see the difference. In fact, it was an accidental offside. You can see the difference with Dhanuka Vijayatilaka off the field, the number 30 jersey, who's played really well at number 8 for Army today. And they've got Vinod Kumar, who's come on. Take nothing away from him, but he's not having the same impact from the base of the scrum that Vijayatilaka had.
Well, you can visit our YouTube channel for replays, highlights and more. Just simply dial into www.youtube.com/ThePapare official and you can catch all the actions, the replays of the club rugby games.
Ball is available.
Well, CRNFC with the scrum. Good stuff. Clean one, takes it nicely, puts the ball up in. Chandima kicks and collects it. Beautiful run, good bounce for him.
Lovely bit of play from Chandimal there, offloading to Wajid Fahmy. But again, they lose the balls here, but regather luckily. Guy and Dilshan with a lovely dummy.
No, you have to release. Release now.
Army all over that ball. Harit Bandara here, an inside switch. Chandimal to Fahmy. But again, a lack of discipline from the Army team, Clifford, and that's what's really making the difference. Army have tried their hardest today, but just a difference in caliber between these experienced players versus the not so experienced players, just to keep that discipline in the pressure moments, and that's where this game has been won and lost.
Well, that's true. The experience makes it count. You can see how they turn this game around. And especially with Riza Mubarak, who was keeping the game pretty much within touching distance for CRNFC. And that beautiful try by Janindra Dilshan, they simply turned that game away. And the icing on the cake would be Riza Rafaidin's beautiful try within his first, off his first touch. So 33 points to 10, CRNFC. Well, this game belongs to them now. Not much left on the clock, unless otherwise Army can do a miracle.
Well, 12 minutes is certainly enough for a bonus point for CRNFC, but certainly maybe not enough for Army, as we see an HIA being conducted by the doctor.
Yellow.
We can see that Sanjay Ratnayaka desperately wants to stay on the field. He's had a good game today. Sanjay Ratnayaka.
24. He's number 7.
And the match doctor still conducting that HIA.
Advantage here.
So the official match doctor for the day is Dr. Namit Sankalpana.
Namit Sankalpana also, interestingly, Clifford, was the official match doctor for the first match of the Rugby World Cup. Played between Russia and Japan in Tokyo. He was the man who was chosen from the Asian region to be the official match doctor in that game. So he was the one who got to decide who stayed on, who went off, if there was an injury.
Well, also, if I'm not mistaken, he's part of the Asian Rugby Medical Council.
Absolutely. So good to see Sri Lanka represented, even at the off-field levels, administrative levels. Medical personnel so important to make sure that players stay healthy in what is a very challenging, very physical game, Clifford. And even if you play it with the utmost care, you're always going to have a few injuries here and there. And it's great to see that doctors like Dr. Damita Sankalpana contribute so much to what is a difficult game for players, coaches, and indeed parents and family members alike. So Army now desperate, trying to run it out of their own 22. They've got
Go back, Rex. Last move.
precious little option, of course, but to do so. Mubarak again, right under that ball. Here's Kevin Dixon now. Hanging on to his bootlace was Tusita Senanayaka. Gayan Dilshan has been a thorn in the side since he came on. Carried the ball strongly on every opportunity that's been given him. Harit Bandara.
Well, Shanak, something that I've noticed, Army has a habit of not kicking to touch whenever they're in trouble. They just put the ball inside the park. Maybe it's a ploy, or maybe they're counting too much on their three-quarters.
Well, I think we saw early on that they managed to steal a defensive line out from CRNFC. And I think they should have backed themselves a little bit more, maybe kicked the ball out, found some field position. But Bandara is not the best kicking fly-half, neither is the other options that they've got. The only option is Kaingasau. Rafaidin lays it back for Bandara. Bandara has no willing runners, but eventually finds Adahan. Ball is much quicker in this second half for CRNFC. Here's Supun Vandakurus, a lovely little handoff to Rishit Fernando, his former teammate. Here's Gayan Dilshan again, gives it to Mubarak. Wajid Faumi, Dixon. Dixon manages to get himself caught by Senanayaka. Thought that we might see that little goose-step run. Harit Bandara flings the ball halfway across the breadth of the park, and Dikkumbura chases it down. In fact, it was Senanayaka that chased it down. Kaingasau. They need something from him today, and what they do get is an outstanding fend on Mubarak. Yes, Bandara passing to nobody again, but the ball bounces kindly for Army. Senanayaka can't get the offload away. Does well to hold on to it. And here's the hard-working prop forward, Shehan Silva. It really shone today, Army's prop forwards in the loose. But they kicked the ball away, and that was dangerous for Mubarak. This is why, because the ball could really have gone anywhere.
Pretty interesting call. Army had the ball and probably would have gone, could have gone. But referee calls back play and gives a penalty for offside. So it makes sense. Going in for the post is not going to help them. They have to reduce the deficit.
Well, that was a little bit risky from Mubarak there, because as soon as he put his boot to the ball, he puts all his players offside. It's not the first time he's had to do this season in that scrambling defense. Now with 6 minutes left, looks like Murshid Zubair has come on for Dinuk Amarasinghe. Amarasinghe goes off, and Murshid Zubair will come into the number 12 position. No data charges for Dialog View, Sri Lanka's largest video collection, and you can watch it for absolutely free. Army's line out is a bit of a shambles, but they get the ball back. So don't forget to download Dialog View on Google Play or the Apple App Store, and enjoy all the wonderful content that Dialog provides you completely data-free. 33 points to 10. It's a mountain to climb for Army, but they've got to start somewhere. And they'll be very happy with a try. They scored early on in the first half and haven't scored for about an hour. And now with the bench coming on and with the inexperience showing Clifford, starting to all fall apart for them.
Army had one of the best chances and they missed it for delaying the line out. So free kick goes in favor of CRNFC. Well, that's
Well taken from Madhagedara. The kick was a little bit too far for the chasers. Didn't give the chasers enough time to really compete. So Army have the ball again. Bandara shows and goes. I would have expected him to do a little bit more of that. Senanayaka.
No.
Army have certainly not played the same kind of game they played in the first half. Nice ball over the top from Bandara that time. Shelton Kumara is on for Army in the front row, and Kaingasau finds a nice ball to Madhuranga.
Stay. Yeah,
And straight over the top goes number 17 for Sia, who is Milan Veerasinghe. Gamunu Chetia trying to get under that ball, but Chandrasekhara is the man who gets there first.
There's been about 4 own tries, I guess, so far. The kicks what CRNFC has made, or rather they have put them on the air, has been overcooked a little bit. Quickly taken one.
Really well done there by Ashan Bandara. Realized that nothing was happening with the conventional way and took it quickly. Has managed to win about 40 meters. This is better from Army. Going down in that contact was Bulat Singhalage. Here's Kaingasau. Straight through he goes, the first 2 tackles. Kevin Dixon couldn't lay a fingernail on him.
No.
Shehan Silva, ever willing carrier of the ball. It's another rough diamond in the making for Army. Kaingasau goes in on the angle. Takes a few with him but leaves the ball behind. It was a good tackle by Gayan Dilshan. Here's Rafaidin now. Riza Rafaidin. Ashan Bandara brings him down, but the Kingswood captain, former Kingswood captain I should say, stays strong in the tackle. So 2 Kingswood captains on the park, ex-captains on the park for CRNFC as Bulak Singhalage takes exception to Chanika Chandimal. Nothing in it really, as the touch judges have clearly seen what went on, so they will have a chat.
There. He can't come.
That was right in front of the touch judge as well as the subs manager. Well, that's going to be a warning for Riza Rafaidin. That's quite interesting.
I'm here. Hi.
Sia hierarchy in the back there. Pavitra Fernando sitting next to Sriyan Kure, the president of the club. Pavitra, of course, doesn't smile much during rugby matches. And to be fair, Sia haven't probably given him plenty of reasons to smile. One man who may have is the number 15, who I think, as you said, maybe about 20 minutes ago, Clifford, has probably put his hand up even since then as the man of the match. 23 points have come off his boot. Sorry, 18 points have come off his boot. And he's been really safe, put his team in attacking positions. Of course, I thought Fadil Adahan also had a very good game, as did Mithila Pereira for CRNFC. But just looking at the kind of stability that Mubarak has provided, it's his second man of the match performance in as many weeks.
Yeah, true. And also he managed to keep CR within the touching distance, because Army was slightly, with the first try, they were taking the game away from CR suddenly. And each and every time Army scored, Riza Mubarak has managed to bring CR back into the game. So that's the beauty about it. And that platform has paid them to have a fantastic second half.
Normally when a kicker scores so many points, Clifford, you would say that the forwards have worked hard. But for CRNFC today, it's not been so much a hard work at the forwards, but Army's mistakes themselves. So it would be unfair to credit the CR forwards with those mistakes. And here is our man of the match today, interchanging passes with his fly half, Chanaka Chandimal, who certainly was not in the running for man of the match today. And that is at the end of the game, so CRNFC come away with the win. They've scored only 3 tries, so they don't get the bonus point, but 33 points to 10. And they've held Army to scoreless in the second half, which is something that Army will be very concerned about. They started the game off well. They had a good 40 minutes. And since they came out in the second half, really nothing to write home about. And CRNFC scored those 3 tries, 3 good tries as well. But at the end of the day, they don't get the bonus point from this game, which will maybe come back to haunt them as the season goes on. But nevertheless, a win. And a win is a win, as they would say.
Yeah, very true. A win is a win, and they have managed to cap this game very comfortable in the second half. First half it was very tight, too tight. It was very difficult to call whose game was going to be. But Army, they really played well. Shanaka, we have to give credit to Army, the way they played in the first half and how they defended these CR forwards and how they made these CR three-quarters to be frustrated in the first half. So that's something you have to give credit for. But on the other hand, second half, it's purely belongs to CRFC. A very clinical display. They managed to grind out some points and the victory, that's for sure.
I think what Army need to do is just really trust their line out going forward, Clifford. I think they need to kick the ball out and just make sure that they trust their line out to win the ball back from opposition teams, because they've got some great jumpers in Tarindu Bandara, Nalaka Maduranga, and of course Sanjay Ratnayaka as well. So 3 genuine line out options. So they really should be looking at that as one of the factors that they use to attack and put pressure on other teams. So that's maybe something that the Army team need to go back and go to their drawing board with. But for CRNFC, I think they've done well despite the fact that they didn't have a lot of ball. Neither team did a lot with the ball that came their way except CRNFC in those 3 tries that they managed to do. A lot of individual brilliance from this CR team with the kind of ball runners that they have. But Army's defense, I thought, were absolutely outstanding. They were breached 3 times, but they did really good work, except, of course, for that one big D word, Clifford, and that's discipline. So you've got the highlights of this game coming up for you. This is how we started off. Luckily, the heavens haven't opened today. It's been fairly good rugby, and that was actually the start of the second half. And no, that was the first half. It was Johnny the Dilshan running away. The second half, rather. Sorry, Clifford, thank you. And as I was saying, the shirt tucked in and the high-waisted shorts. This was the second try that CR scored. We have to mention the performance of Danija Dilshan also today, Clifford, along with Adahan, who have been really good. Supun Mandakalasuriya coming away with that try, try that will be credited to all the forwards. But found his jumper, did well, and Mubarak just knocked over the extra points like he had the ball on his shoestring.
Well, this is the try that which is very much seen, or rather foreseen, quite before it was scored. Beautifully done, and reason of fighting coming into the pitch a couple of minutes ago, and good collection there by Chandimal as well. And look at that, Kevin Dixon drawing in those 2 players and make sure that enough space was given to Rafaidin, and he touches down. Beautiful try, Shanaka. Had to give credit. And this is one of the most difficult kicks that Mubarak converted. The corner flag one, and once again made it so easy. Simple as that.
Yes, it was a fabulous performance off the tee from Mubarak. So 3 tries to CRNFC to the 1 early try from Army, which was converted as well. And 7 kicks put over by Mubarak, which is why he wins man of the match performance for him. And I think when you look at the fact that he's won man of the match for a couple of weeks in a row now, and you look at all the younger players, Clifford, in the CRNFC backline, guys like Dixon, guys like Amarasinghe, Dilshan, the fact that they are not outperforming this veteran player, I should say, a guy that we don't expect to do match-winning performances, but he's been just knocking it over, just like he's just started playing.
Yeah, that's true. It's probably the other way around as well, where he has to play with the youngsters and where he's keeping it up. But next week fixtures, there you go, Dialog Rugby League 2019 and 2020 week 4 roundup. So 3rd January Friday, that's going to be Navy Sports Club taking on Air Force at Valisara. That's at 4 p.m. kickoff. Police taking on CHNFC at Police Park once again on 3rd January. It's a Friday kickoff at 4 p.m. Then once again 4th January, that's a Saturday and the very first weekend of the New Year. CRNFC playing against Kandy at Longdon Place, and that's at 4 p.m. kickoff. And Army travelling to, well, in fact Havelock Sports Club travelling to Army Grounds, and that's on 4th January Saturday, so that's at 4 p.m. So the interesting fixture for next week, 2 unbeaten sides meeting each other, Shanaka.
Yeah, it should be very interesting, but of course the bonus point that CRNFC have sacrificed today, Kandy will have the psychological advantage, especially given that they gave Police a fair hiding today. It was something that Kandy were not expected to do, but they did manage to do that, showing that they're probably still the most professional outfit here. But CRNFC will need to come close just to keep that league alive and keep 3 teams in it. Make sure that they run Kandy at least close if they don't beat them, and make sure that Havelocks and Kandy and CRNFC stay in the running now that CHNFC have fallen off the pace a little bit early on in the season. But nevertheless, we have a break coming up next week, so hopefully all of you tuned to ThePapare.com will enjoy your holidays, enjoy Christmas, and have a nice break this week. The players will get some much needed time off as well, and will return in the new year, brand new decade for you as well, although there is a little bit of mathematical inaccuracy to saying that whether that's the start of the new decade or not, Clifford, but let's not get into all that. But we'll just wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and see them on the other side of the New Year's Eve, which is the first weekend of January, with a lot of games coming up, an almighty clash to begin 2020 with as well. So congratulations to CRNFC for today's win, and a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year from Clifford Surendran, myself, Shanak Amrasinghe, Inshaf Kafur, and the rest of us in this Papare production team for this evening. It's goodbye for now. Have a great New Year.
වෙඩින් එකට තාම හොටෙල් එකවත් බුක් කරලා නැහැනේ.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම් සුදු.
අලු සීට් ටිකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්. දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, a Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
සිලාන් පර්සනල් ලෝන් කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with a heart.
රුපියල් 5කින් මොනවද කරන්න පුළුවන්? 5කින්
අලු සීටිකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
සර් සර්ගේ පේමන්ට් එක සෙටල් කරන්න තියෙනවා.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න. දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, a Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
සිලාන් පර්සනල් ලෝන් කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with a heart.